In the year 2157, humanity made first contact with the Galactic Council, a federation of 17 advanced alien species. The human representative, Admiral James Walker, stood before the Council in their massive space station, expecting to be treated as equals. Instead, he found himself facing mockery and ridicule. The Council members, led by the ancient race called the Elders, laughed at humanity's primitive warships. Their largest vessels were merely a few kilometers in length, while most Council species had mastered the art of building ships tens of kilometers long. But what the Council didn't understand was humanity's unique approach to warfare and engineering. Admiral Walker returned to Earth with determination burning in his eyes. During the Council meeting, he had noticed something crucial: while alien ships were massive, they were limited by conventional thinking. No species had ever attempted to convert an entire planet into a warship, mainly because they considered it impossible and impractical. But humans had always dreamed bigger. In secret meetings with Earth's unified government, Walker proposed Project Titan, a plan to transform Mars into the first planet-sized warship in galactic history. The project would take decades, but humanity had something the other species lacked: impossible determination and the ability to think beyond established limits. The Council had unknowingly ignited a spark that would change the galaxy forever. As construction teams began arriving on Mars, and massive factories were built on its surface, humanity kept their true intentions hidden from their new galactic neighbors. They maintained a facade of building simple, terraforming facilities, while in reality, they were laying the groundwork for the most ambitious military project in known history. Admiral Walker would not live to see the project's completion, but as he looked at the initial construction through his ship's viewport, he smiled. Humanity was about to prove why they were different from every other species in the galaxy. They weren't just dreamers, they were dreamers who made the impossible possible. 20 years passed as humanity worked tirelessly on Project Titan. The red surface of Mars had become an endless construction site, with millions of workers living in massive underground cities. The project's chief engineer, Dr. Robert Stone, stood in the central control room, watching as another massive thruster array was anchored into the planet's crust. "Status report," he called out to his team, his voice steady despite the extraordinary nature of their work. The massive screens before him showed hundreds of construction sites spread across the planet's surface. What had once been Olympus Mons was now being transformed into the main bridge of their planetary warship, while the vast Valles Marineris Canyon system housed the primary weapon arrays. The most challenging part had been installing the artificial gravity generators deep within Mars's core. Traditional ships used simple gravity plating, but moving an entire planet required something far more ambitious. The solution came from an unexpected source: the planet's own magnetic field. By amplifying and controlling it, they could maintain the planet's structural integrity even during faster-than-light travel. The Council's occasional inspection teams were easily fooled. They saw only what appeared to be standard terraforming equipment: atmospheric processors, water reclamation systems, and habitat domes. None of them suspected that each installation was designed to serve a dual purpose. The atmospheric processors would become life support systems for the crew, the water reclamation units would feed the cooling systems for the massive engines, and the habitat domes would house weapon control centers. Dr. Stone's greatest achievement was the development of the planetary shield system. Unlike conventional shields that protected only a ship's hull, this one had to maintain a perfect sphere around the entire planet. The solution was elegant in its simplicity: they would use Mars's atmosphere itself as part of the shield matrix, turning the very air into a defensive weapon. But not everything went smoothly. During the installation of the main drive system, a massive earthquake shook the entire southern hemisphere. Emergency crews worked for weeks to stabilize the planet's crust, all while maintaining the facade of normal terraforming activities. The Council sent investigators, but humanity's decades of experience in hiding their true activities paid off. As the 20th year of construction neared its end, Dr. Stone received an urgent message from Earth Command. Their long-range sensors had detected something concerning, a threat that would force them to accelerate their plans. Standing at his window, looking out at the transformed surface of Mars, he knew that humanity's greatest gamble would soon be put to the test. "Send word to all project leads," he commanded, his voice carrying the weight of 2 decades of secret labor. Operation Titan enters final phase. Mars must be ready to move within 6 months. The threat that Earth Command detected was worse than anyone had imagined. The long-range sensors had picked up a massive fleet of unknown vessels approaching from beyond the galaxy's outer rim. These weren't Council ships, they were something else entirely, and they were heading straight for human space. Commander Thomas Reed, head of Earth's Intelligence Division, worked tirelessly to keep Project Titan hidden while gathering information about the approaching threat. His office deep beneath the Rocky Mountains had become a nerve center of galactic espionage. Holographic displays showed the positions of Council observation posts, patrol routes, and the latest images of the mysterious fleet. "They're calling themselves the Harvesters," Reed explained to the emergency meeting of Earth's leadership. "Our deep space probes indicate they've already stripped 3 galaxies of all resources. They don't negotiate, they don't communicate, they simply take what they want and leave dead worlds in their wake." The Council remained ignorant of the approaching danger. Their sensor networks, focused on maintaining their political borders, hadn't detected the threat. Humanity faced a difficult choice: warn the Council and risk exposing Project Titan, or remain silent and hope Mars would be ready in time. Reed's team had developed ingenious methods to hide their true activities. They had created a false construction company, Mars Terraforming Initiative, complete with fake progress reports, civilian transport schedules, and even carefully staged accidents to maintain authenticity. When Council inspectors visited, they were shown carefully prepared sites while the real work continued in massive underground facilities. But the greatest challenge came from an unexpected quarter. A junior Council scientist, intrigued by unusual energy readings from Mars, began asking uncomfortable questions. Reed's solution was brilliant in its simplicity. Instead of hiding the energy signatures, they amplified them and leaked a false report suggesting Mars was naturally rich in a new form of energy. The Council's greed and bureaucracy did the rest, as they became too busy arguing over mining rights to investigate further. Time was running out. The Harvester fleet would reach the galaxy's edge in less than 8 months. Project Titan needed to be ready not just to move, but to fight. Commander Reed stood at his window, watching the sunset paint the mountains in shades of red that reminded him of Mars. He pressed a button on his desk, sending a coded message to every Project Titan facility: "The storm is coming. We move at dawn." His next message went to Dr. Stone on Mars: "They're coming sooner than we thought. Whatever you're going to do with that planet, do it fast." The Harvester fleet dropped out of faster-than-light travel at the edge of the solar system. Their ships were like nothing humanity had ever seen, massive crystalline structures that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. The smallest of their vessels was larger than Earth's moon, and their flagship dwarfed even that. On Earth, military bases worldwide went into high alert. General Mark Wilson, Supreme Commander of Earth's Defense Forces, watched the tactical displays with growing concern. The Harvesters had already destroyed Neptune's orbital stations, absorbing the debris into their ships like hungry beasts. "They're not just destroying," reported his science officer, "they're consuming. Converting matter directly into energy. At their current pace, they'll reach Mars in 72 hours. The Council, finally aware of the threat, had called an emergency session. Their response was typical: long debates about proper protocol and jurisdiction. Their mighty fleets, spread thin across thousands of worlds, would take weeks to mobilize. Humanity would face the first wave alone. On Mars, final preparations reached a fever pitch. Dr. Stone's teams worked around the clock, pushing the planetary engines well beyond their tested limits. The massive thruster arrays that would move Mars burned white-hot during their final calibration tests, visible from Earth as new stars in the night sky. "All hands, prepare for planetary activation," Stone's voice echoed through every corridor and chamber of the transformed world. 20 years of work, millions of lives, and humanity's future all rested on the next few hours. The artificial gravity generators deep within Mars's core hummed to life, their power slowly building to levels never before achieved by any civilization. General Wilson received the coded message he'd been waiting for: "Titan is ready." With grim determination, he sent the order that would change everything: Operation Titan, execute. Deep within Mars, something impossible began to happen. The planet's core, now encased in humanity's most advanced technology, began to pulse with energy. The surface shifted as massive panels of armor plating emerged from beneath the red soil. Weapon systems larger than cities rose from the transformed Vias Marineris, and the artificial atmosphere began to glow with shield energy. The Harvester fleet approached Mars, their sensors detecting the unprecedented energy readings too late to react. As they watched, humanity revealed their greatest achievement: Mars began to move. Not as a planet bound by orbital mechanics, but as a warship, powered by engines that defied the laws of physics as the galaxy understood them. General Wilson's voice, transmitted to every human settlement in the solar system, carried both pride and determination. "For 20 years, we prepared in secret. Today, we show the galaxy why humanity should never be underestimated. All hands, battle stations. The real war begins now." The galaxy watched in stunned silence as Mars broke free from its orbit. The red planet's surface split apart in precise, predetermined patterns, revealing layers of gleaming metal beneath. Massive weapon arrays emerged from the Vias Marineris, each one larger than most Council battleships. The transformed Olympus Mons opened like a massive flower, revealing the bridge complex that would command this unprecedented vessel. In the Council chambers, the alien representatives stood speechless. The elders, who had once mocked humanity's primitive ships, watched their displays in disbelief. One of them, the ancient master delegate, whispered, "Impossible, they've done the impossible." The Harvester fleet paused their advance, their crystalline ships reorienting toward this unexpected threat. Their initial scans of Mars had shown a simple terrestrial planet. Now their sensors were overwhelmed by power readings that exceeded their entire fleet combined. Dr. Stone stood on the bridge of Mars, now designated as THS Titan, Terran heavy ship, watching as millions of crew members took their battle stations. The internal transport systems, disguised for years as civilian infrastructure, moved soldiers and technicians to their posts with practiced efficiency. "Main weapons, online," reported the tactical officer. "Planetary shields at full power. Drive system responding at 120% of projected capacity." The Harvesters made the first move. Their flagship, a crystalline behemoth twice the size of Earth's moon, launched a beam of energy that had destroyed countless worlds before. It struck Mars's shields, and splashed harmlessly across their surface. The transformed planet's atmosphere, now part of its defense system, absorbed and dispersed the energy across its entire surface. "Return fire," ordered General Wilson from his command post deep within Olympus Mons. "Show them what a planet-sized warship can really do." The weapons hidden within Vias Marineris awakened. Energy beams wider than continents lashed out, powered by the massive reactors built into Mars's core. The first volley struck 3 Harvester ships, not just damaging but completely vaporizing them. The remaining Harvesters scattered, their previous formation broken by this unprecedented show of force. From Earth, the battle looked like a new star had been born between the planets. The Council's nearest fleets, already rushing to assist, were still days away. But now their long-range sensors showed something they hadn't expected: the Harvester fleet was retreating. Commander Reed's voice came over the command channel: "They're running. The mighty Harvesters are actually running." He paused, then added, "But they're not just fleeing. According to our analysis, they're sending signals. They're calling for help. On the bridge of THS Titan, Dr. Stone and General Wilson shared a grim look. They had won the first battle, but the war was just beginning. Humanity had revealed their greatest secret and changed the balance of power in the galaxy forever. There would be no going back. The Harvester reinforcements arrived 3 days later, a fleet 5 times larger than the first. Their ships emerged from faster-than-light travel in a sphere formation, surrounding Mars's new position. This time, they weren't underestimating humanity's planetary warship. Multiple energy signatures detected, reported Titan's sensor chief. They're charging weapons across the entire fleet. General Wilson stood at the main tactical display, his mind racing through the battle scenarios they had practiced. A normal ship, even a large one, would be overwhelmed by attacks from all directions. But THS Titan wasn't a normal ship, it was a planet converted into a weapon of war. "Execute Battle Plan Phoenix," he ordered. "Dr. Stone, show them what this ship can really do." The surface of Mars began to change again. The outer layer of armor plates shifted and rotated, creating overlapping fields of fire. The transformed atmosphere, already part of their defense system, started to swirl with energy, forming a massive storm that encompassed the entire planet. The Harvesters attacked simultaneously, their energy beams converging from all directions. But humanity had planned for this. The artificial storm surrounding Mars caught the energy attacks, channeling them through the atmosphere and into massive collectors hidden beneath the surface. "Energy absorption systems at maximum capacity," Dr. Stone announced. "Ready to execute counterstrike." The collected energy was fed directly into Mars's weapons systems. The entire planet glowed like a newborn star as it released the Harvester's own power back at them, amplified by human technology. The devastating blast expanded in a perfect sphere, catching most of the enemy fleet in its radius. Dozens of crystalline ships shattered instantly. The survivors tried to regroup, but THS Titan was already moving. The massive planetary engines fired, pushing Mars through the enemy formation with impossible agility for an object of its size. Each movement was precisely calculated to bring its strongest weapons to bear. The Council fleets, finally arriving at the battle, could only watch in awe. The Harvester ships, which had terrorized countless civilizations, were being systematically destroyed by a weapon platform larger than anything they had ever imagined possible. "Multiple enemy ships attempting to retreat," reported the tactical officer. "They're trying to make another faster-than-light jump." General Wilson's response was immediate, "Not this time. Deploy the gravity anchors." This was another of humanity's secret weapons. Massive gravity generators, originally designed to hold Mars together during its transformation, now projected fields that prevented faster-than-light travel within their range. The Harvesters were trapped. The battle lasted another 6 hours, but the outcome was never in doubt. When the last Harvester ship fell silent, the scale of humanity's victory became clear. They hadn't just won a battle, they had changed the fundamental rules of warfare in the galaxy. Commander Reed's voice came over the command channel. "Long-range sensors show no more Harvester reinforcements in range. But we're picking up something else, Council ships. Hundreds of them. They're requesting permission to approach." 1 month after the Battle of Mars, the Galactic Council convened its largest assembly in recorded history. Representatives from all 17 Council species gathered to witness something unprecedented, the admission of humanity as a senior race, a status usually reserved for civilizations with at least 10,000 years of spacefaring history. Admiral James Walker, now in his 80s, stood once again before the Council. This time, there was no mockery, no condescension. The massive holographic displays behind him showed THS Titan in orbit around Earth, its transformed surface gleaming with power. 20 years ago, I stood in this chamber and listened as you dismissed humanity as primitive, Walker addressed the assembly. Today, I stand here not to boast of our victory, but to offer a partnership. The harvesters were only the first threat. There will be others, and we must face them together. The council chambers erupted in discussion. The elders, their previous arrogance replaced by genuine respect, were the first to support humanity's proposal. The evidence was undeniable. In just 2 decades, humans had achieved what other species had deemed impossible for millennia. Dr. Stone and General Wilson attended the session via hologram from THS Titan's bridge. The Council had initially demanded that Mars be decommissioned as a weapon of war. Humanity's response was diplomatic but firm. Mars would remain transformed, not as a threat, but as a guarantee of galactic security. The age of conventional warfare is over, General Wilson announced to the Assembly. But this is not about military power alone. The technologies we developed for Project Titan, planetary engineering, mass manipulation, energy conversion, these can be used to build as well as defend. The implications were staggering. Humanity offered to share some of their innovations, under careful controls. The same technologies that turned Mars into a warship could transform dead worlds into habitable ones. The energy systems that powered their weapons could provide clean power to countless civilizations. Commander Reed, watching from Earth, received reports from across the galaxy. The Harvester threat had not been eliminated entirely, but their main fleet was destroyed, and their remaining forces were in retreat. More importantly, other hostile species were reconsidering their positions. The existence of a planet-sized warship had changed the balance of power overnight. As the council session concluded, humanity was granted not just membership but leadership of a new galactic defense initiative. The other species had finally understood what made humans unique, not just their ability to build the impossible, but their determination to use that power to protect others. Admiral Walker's final words to the Council became part of galactic history. We built a planet-sized warship not because we wanted to rule the galaxy, but because we refused to let anyone else do so. Humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology or our weapons, it's our ability to dream beyond limits, and our determination to turn those dreams into reality. Let this be the beginning of a new era, where we all dream together. As he finished speaking, THS Titan performed a planetary maneuver that should have been impossible, a perfect honor guard salute, executed with the precision of a small patrol ship. The sight of a planet moving with such grace and control served as a final reminder to the galaxy: humanity had forever changed the rules of what was possible.